This is the biggest Xbox exclusive since Starfield and perhaps the biggest Xbox game of 2024, Senua Saga Hellblade II. So does this game live up to all the hype? Especially the hype surrounding its graphics. Is it a visual stunner? The short answer is yes. But as a video game, it's not perfect. Hellblade 2 is a cinematic masterpiece, a generation leap when you compare it to the first game. The graphics, the visuals, the whole game plays like a movie. The cinematic focus here is so strong that the entire game, yes, the whole thing is in an ultra-wide letterbox mode with huge black bars on the top and bottom. I'll be honest, I was annoyed by this initially, but I did get used to it as I progressed through the game. Keep in mind, the first game was in full screen. I guess this does make the whole cinematics experience seamless. You can literally play the game in a single sitting and never see a loading screen. The entire experience is basically one continuous shot. Now, if you die, well, you do ruin that continuous shot and do see a small loading screen. This game can be completed in a single setting. It's only about 5 hours in length, so slightly shorter than the 8 hours we got with the first game. Just like the first game though, Hellblade 2 is linear, perhaps even more linear than the first. If you didn't like the first game because of how linear it was and because of how shallow the gameplay felt, well, you're not gonna like this one. The gameplay is essentially 3 parts. About 70% of the game is you just walking or running through these maps while having conversations with yourself or other characters in the game. The second part is the puzzles, which are on the simple and easy side. And the third part, well, that's combat, which again is basic by video game standards, but perhaps the most cinematic combat you'll find anywhere. What Hellblade 2 does well, just like the first game, is suck you into its immersive storytelling and cinematics experience. This new game does it even better than the first. The story, the voice acting, the sound, it's all done really well. Ninja Theory recommends you play this game using headphones, which I did, and its 3D sound really brings the whole immersion to another level. The visual environments, the character models, the motion capture, the character faces and their expressions, it's all the best you'll find in a game. The story is actually really good, at least I think so. Of course, I'm not going to go into detail and spoil that for you. It's also impressive to see the 2 Xbox consoles, the Series S and the Series X, run this game. So how does Hellblade 2 compare on the Series S versus the Series X? Let's talk about that. On both consoles, the game's 40.3 gigabytes. Now, I always test loading times in my comparisons, but here I didn't really do that. The reason is because this game really doesn't have any loading screens once you're playing, and being a single player game, you'll always have quick resume at your disposal as well. There's also no ability to save the game, but there is a capture select mode, so once you completed a certain part of the game, you can go back and replay it. Visually, the game's stunning on both the Series S and X. The resolution is dynamic, 1080p dynamic on Series S and 4K dynamic on the Series X. So that 1080p is the highest you'll see on the Series S, but the game does get blurry at times and can drop to around 720p. With the Series X, things are a lot crisper with that 4K, but even that likely drops closer to 1440p at times to keep a stable frame rate. Both consoles are locked to 30 frames per second. I guess for a game like this, which plays more like a movie than a game, 30 FPS is okay. This game is polished, no bugs, no crashes, and the frame rate is solid locked to 30 FPS on both consoles. There are some very rare drops of a single frame here and there, but nothing noticeable. Between the Series S and X, I noticed the Series X dropping to 29 slightly more often, but as I said, these things are rare. The drops are really rare. Compared to the first game, Hellblade 2 looks a lot better, but the first game can deliver 60 FPS on the Series S and X, so I guess that's where the first game's a little better. I also compared the Series X version to PC, and as you can see, the Series X holds its own compared to a PC running the highest settings at 4K native resolution. You do see a difference in the colors here, and that's just has to do with my HDR settings. Ninja Theory worked hard to optimize this game on Xbox consoles, and it shows. So a powerful gaming PC isn't gonna look too much better in graphics compared to the Series X. I guess the big advantage if you do have a powerful PC is the frame rate. You're able to play at 60 FPS or even higher. I don't have a 4000 series graphics card, but with my RTX 3080 I can run Hellblade 2 at around 80 FPS, but this is with dynamic resolution scaling at 1080p. Overall, Hellblade 2 is a good game. It's short, but if you like the first game, then you'll definitely like the second one. For those that have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, it's really a no-brainer to try this out since it's a day one release. Even if you have to go out and buy it, it's not a full price game. It's $50 instead of the usual $70. For those of you looking for an open world game with deep gameplay, this is not for you. But for those of you that want an immersive movie-like storytelling type of experience, go check this out. I personally enjoyed it, but I'm never gonna play it again. There are some unlockables, but not any reason to go back to it for me. I would still give this game a 9 out of 10. Let me know if you'll be picking this one up or downloading it if you have Game Pass Ultimate. For the rest of the video, check out some more side-by-side gameplay between the Series S and the Series X.
Saga, I can help you.
Fight.
Something he can't
Spirits of a hidden folk nobody knows.
fight. The hidden folk will help us.
Those
It
that
is
make
them.
it out,
It could be something
they
worse.
come back changed.
Changed how? What does that mean?
Changed how?